Sup guys, today we are not going fast in CMs for once. We are talking about the different specs in challenge modes. In MOP Classic, end of Season 1, we got new timers introduced. Platinum times, which reward toys, and Diamond times, also known as title times, which reward a title and amount at the end of the season. Since Platinum times also introduced a vial toy, I wanted to make a tier list considering it, since that thing is so OP. The Platinum Vial is a 30 seconds buff that pretty much triggers on spell hit every 2 seconds, and it does insane damage. You get it if you complete Skolo in the Platinum time. So if you are going for all Platinum times, you should really start with Skolo, otherwise you're kinda inting. We will do two tier lists, one for Platinum times and one for title times. Let's get into the Platinum tier list. Starting off with the Windwalker Monk. Windwalker Eager Eye Brew actually scales with the vial. So he does insane single target burst, does decent AoE as well, has a good amount of death cooldowns, brings a stun or Ring of Peace if you have too many stuns. Also brings a crit buff. So Windwalker, good class to bring, gets an A tier. Shadow Priest brings stamina, does not that much single target and severely lacks AoE, so he's going into C tier. Does bring Vampiric Embrace as well, but when you do no damage, that just doesn't heal, so yeah. Destro Warlock brings stamina as well, also spell power, health stones, and a battle res, which is kinda insane for one class. Has 2 minutes on his cooldown and 2 charges of it for whatever reason. Does really consistent good AoE and single target as well. Pretty much whatever you need, a Warlock can bring. Also, you can start like every boss fight with 4 embers and then you pump single target as well. This class is just an S, no doubt about it. Emo, same stuff as the Destro. Does a little bit less consistent single target, does more burst AoE though. But since burst AoE is like just not that valued as like single target and all the variety that Destro can do, Demo gets like into the B tier. You can play it, but Destro is just way more OP in challenge modes. Affli goes straight into D. The stat squish just doesn't help. So if you can, respec one of the other into one of the other two choices. I mean, you can make it work, but it will just be not that fun, I guess. Enhancement. Enhancements double dips into the vial because the vial scales with attack power and spell power. So he's actually the best, like the second best class at using the vial. Insane single target damage. Is okay-ish in AoE and can actually do a lot of AoE if you have time like to spread your flame shocks and they live long enough, which is rarely the case. Also brings insane amounts of utility with AG, Stormlash, like a stun totem, slow totem, healing totem, which I forgot the name of. So one of the best classes this season goes into S tier. Elemental, pretty much the same story. 3-minute class as well as the enhancer. Does big single target, just doesn't scale as well with the vial. S tier as well. A little bit behind the enhancer, but its range, so easier to play. Enhancer tend to die a lot. Melees in general, I guess. So yeah, bring whatever you can of these, I guess. Red is interesting because he brings tank support in the form of sacrifice, which will just help you so much in progressing these dungeons. Like each time the tank doesn't die because of a sacrifice, you will just save like 5 minutes. So if you can, tank support is really good. Also, 3-minute class scales with the vial, does insane single target burst, not that much AoE, not that much outside of cooldowns, just a typical burst class, but with sacrifice. So A from me for sure. Arcane Mage does have trouble proccing the vial. It is kinda annoying to play in challenge modes. It's okay single target, does like literally no AoE, so I guess Behind the Shadow is good. Frost Mage, in Season 1 he got buffed by like 15%, which pretty much would have been S tier, I think even, maybe like top of A or something. But in Season 2 he got nerfed, doesn't scale as well as other classes with the vial as well. So B tier it is. Does bring a crit buff though, a spell power as well, but crit is really nice and sought after this season if you're like playing with a monk tank especially. But yeah, does good damage, doesn't do a lot else. Fire Mage, the dream. I wish it was true and I could put him in S tier. It just doesn't work in challenge modes though. The stat squish, same problem as Affli Lock. It's just not working, sadly. Survival Hunter, insane this season. Scales well with the vial, brings everything you need. Good cooldowns and does damage outside of cooldowns, which like pretty much none of these classes do, but Destro. So always good to pick up some consistent damage, some good burst damage, and can bring whatever buff you need. So yeah, I think in between here seems good. Yeah, BM, pretty much just a worse version of the Survival Hunter. So just put him there. The Laser Chicken, really interesting. The best burst class for the vial. You need to set it up properly though, and if you can't, it's kind of garbage. So if you do your homework, it's probably like A tier. If you don't, it's probably like C tier. So I'm going to put it in B tier for now in this platinum tier list. Unholy Decay. Insane burst damage. In Season 1, like, was the best burst class we had. But doesn't scale as crazy as others with the vial, so that's gone as well. Does do everything good though, like some good AoE, some good single target, does some damage without cooldowns as well. So yeah, I would put him before Demo. Peril is just kind of the worst version of the Laser Chicken. Doesn't scale as well with the vial. So probably, yeah, top of C tier. About the others, honestly, I have no clue because I haven't played with Frost. I have played with Arms. I forgot this one. Arms is interesting because does an insane amount of AoE and also has Vigilance and Demo Shout to support the tank. And as we know, supporting the tank is really nice because that will save you a lot of progress time. So for me, this one is going into S tier in front of the Warlock. Yeah, I never played with any of these guys, so I'm just gonna put them into the no clue tier. I've seen some videos like Sub is doing well. Sub is doing insane single target, it looks like. But since I haven't played with them, yeah, I'm just not going to rate it, to be sure. In general, if you do your group comp, you should look for having Bloodlust if you don't have the Bloodlust toy yet, for sure. And also like get some buffs. Pretty much if you have a Shaman, you're pretty good on buffs as well. You're pretty good on buffs already, and then I would support the tank as much as possible, pretty much. So you're just progressing fast through these dungeons. Yeah, anyways, that was like the first tier list, the platinum one, which is a bit more casual. Let's get into the title tier list next. Okay, so for the platinum times, we were kind of focusing on like tank support, tank survival. We were valuing AoE as well. And you could pretty much bring bad specs. For title times, that's not really true anymore. You also kind of don't want that much AoE because normally you have to pretty much pull everything into the boss. So all the AoE you do should be funnel or like should give vengeance to the tank if he can survive it. So yeah, we will think very different about this tier list than the one before. And also here you should just play the better spec. You shouldn't like try to play the spec you main. You should save your friend some time and just spec the right one. Let's get started with the Arms Worry. Arms Worry, like we said, does insane AoE, helps the tank, which was valued very highly in Platinum. It's just not really for title times. You're basically stealing vengeance from the tank at this point. So if you don't need it to survive, all AoE is kind of wasted because the tank does it anyways, depending, yeah, if you're playing with a monk tank, that is. So yeah, Arms Worry is just going into C tier. Distrolog, I would actually probably put this upper tier if I had a choice to, because if you have a lot of ads, you can Havoc Shadow Flame into the boss. You can always spam Chaos Bolt. Like Warlock does on each fight like 80% from what burst classes do, and they just don't have cooldowns. So Destro Warlock, really good. Demo, the same problem as Arms Worry, so just spec a different spec for this one. Affli as well. Enhance, still S tier, still insane, probably top of S tier. Yeah, the single target burst he does is just insane, and as the dungeons get quicker, your burst windows matter more, or like you doing less DPS because you don't have cooldowns matter less the shorter the dungeons is. Elemental, probably down a tier because you should just go enhance. It's just a better elemental. Shadow, I'm putting him C tier. He would probably be D if there was another spec he could spec to. Yeah, you can make it work like with these classes, but it will just be harder. Red, still A. Single target burst, insane, is pretty much what you need. Also sec, still high value. Windwalker did get knocked down a tier to B. Still a good class, but they are just better options. Like if you're going for title for the first time, you should try to get as many of these S and A tier options as you can. Arcane Mage, you're kind of trolling if you're playing Arcane. Fire as well. Frost on the Windwalker tier, B tier. It's fine. You can play it. But after the nerfs, it's just not as good as some other classes. BM, just spec Survivor in this one. Survivor, S tier, actually insane. Brings the buff you need, buffs the tank. Always has damage. Burst cooldowns are good. Does good single target. Can do like really good cleave AoE as well if you need some more. The Hunter is probably the one who should do it because he's not like losing much single target at all. So yeah, bring a Hunter if you can. It's a very good class for title runs. Peril, you're trolling. Unholy DK, decent. It's fine. Can be good in some dungeons if you have trouble like stacking something up or something. Yeah. Laser Owl, actually really good. The burst is insane. So if you know how to play it, it's really, really good. And like I said, the other classes, I have no fucking clue. So I'm just not even gonna rate them. yeah, for titles, just bring as many of these as you can. The only one I would really stack is the Warlock. Like if you have an open slot and you already have a Warlock, you can get a second one in. The other ones I wouldn't really stack. But if you can choose your classes, the S tier is probably your best bet. If you need some more tank support, getting the red in is also a really good choice. Like if your tank keeps dying on, let's say, the Arms Master pull and halls, a red makes his life way easier and would probably out progress the Warlock or the Hunter. Do not remove the Shaman. So yeah, you kind of have to like build your team with what you need, but still you just need a certain amount of single target damage. Otherwise, you're not going to make all the times. Especially like as a first team, as a first title, like as the first time you try to get the title. Yeah, that's pretty much the tier list. Just as a disclaimer, you can pretty much do titles with every class. We did some off-meta titles as well. I would not recommend doing that though, because yeah, your progress time will just be way higher. Also tanks. Monk tank makes your life like 10 times easier. So if you can, and if you're going for it for the first time, get a monk tank in. You can troll with like a DPS class or two, but yeah, having a different tank kind of requires the hunter because you will have aggro problems and like your whole team will have to play differently. With a monk tank, everyone can just do whatever they want, pretty much. So yeah, that's the tier list. Good luck on your titles if you're going for them. And if not, platinums are really fun. Like the toys are really cool. If I'm not lazy, I will put up a screen with all the toys if you haven't seen them all. Yeah, go and play some challenge mode. GG's.